Hello, you beautiful Bravehearts. I'm Dr. Daryl Wolf, and I'm here at the Braveheart Nation studios in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, Mexico. And today I'm going to be coming on with Kim Nartker, and she is one of the people that are talking on the cure is an inside job. Let me tell you something. I got to tell you something. When I was like around the age of around 32, I got to just tell you a little story before we start. There was a gentleman, and he was Mr. Ozone, okay? And there was a lot of ozone going on back then for HIV and AIDS patients. And you know what? Ozone is able to actually break down, get rid of the HIV virus. But then there's lots of things, like even infinite iodine could do that, okay? And then the reality is that when something's actually gone, we would call it a cure. But and ozone could do that, but you weren't allowed to say that ozone could cure HIV because you could get strung up. So, you know, and the reality is the medical system always owned the word cure, and then they kept telling everyone that they were curing their cancer, or they were curing some kind of disease when there are no diseases. There's just being out of alignment, okay? Because all diseases are just symptoms, okay? Symptoms that get chronic because guess what? They're going to a practitioner that doesn't know anything about health. Oh, and that would be like almost every practitioner out there that was ever taught in a governmental school. And that's the truth. Let me tell you something. The cure is an inside job. It's always been an inside job. You know, I have been hung by the media and by government agencies when I would say that a person can cure themselves. And understand something, maybe I wasn't saying it quite right, because guess what? The cure is an inside job, but it's also something that you do daily. Okay, you know what? It's not like, Dr. Wolf, how long do I have to work out to stay in shape? I don't know, what do you think? Okay, Dr. Wolf, how long do I have to eat a healthy diet to stay healthy? I don't know, what do you think? How long do I have to breathe properly to stay healthy? Well, what do you think? Understand something. Everybody needs to understand that they need to create a perfect day. If you created a perfect day, you wouldn't have to do a super duper detox. You wouldn't be trying to get rid of worms and parasites and fungus. And understand something, you wouldn't walk around limping, okay, if you had a perfect day that actually built into it things that were actually healthy. So it's gentle baby, loving steps done daily, create the perfect day, and then create that every day. And what do you get? You get a pretty good healthy life. That's what you get. So the cure is an inside job. And the reality is the body will cure itself. But understand something, the manual that everybody's been given, okay, especially every woman on the planet that wants to have a family, is adulterated. And then they're trying to help to heal their family, their children, their husband, or whoever. And guess what? Guess what? It won't work. The manual's corrupted. It was built by Big Pharma. It was built by Big Tobacco. So understand something. I really want to thank Manny Baines for coming out with, okay, the cure is an inside job. And if you take a look, you'll see the whole list of people that are on there. And guess what? All of these people come together and everyone has a piece to the puzzle to give you the picture, the image, what really health is and where you have to go, and to unravel their story and to give you more truth. What do you think, Kim?
I totally agree. Totally agree.
So Kim, where do you live? And tell everybody what you do.
So I live in Ohio, in Hamilton, Ohio, actually. And I founded the Stretch Mobility Coach. It was a bridge from, I was a PTA, physical therapist assistant, for over 20 years. And PT didn't work for my clients. They needed more.
Sorry, PT, can you tell everybody what you're talking about?
PT is physical therapy.
I know, but you know what? What we need to do is, you know, can I just say this? People always want to be nice. You know, they took shell shock and they made it into PTSD that doesn't exist. And then there's physical therapy that she made into PT because she's trying to be nice. But guess what? Physical therapy doesn't work, and that's why she's not doing it. But she came up with something better. Are you ready? Here it comes. Go ahead, Kim.
So a stretch mobility coach looks at the body in a different way. We look at the health of your joints. We look at the health of your muscle, which there's no defined way to determine what the health of your muscle is. There's no testing out there because, we don't really quantify that. And so as a stretch mobility coach, we look at how your joint moves without compensation and how your muscles contract, and are they doing that in a healthy way? And almost 100% of the population, those two components are not working correctly. So we then experience pain and tightness. Pain is a warning sign that there is a problem in the body that needs to be resolved, and tightness and the feeling that you need to stretch or pop are also symptoms. Both of those things are symptoms of a deeper underlying problem. And a stretch mobility coach resolves that, reverses the deconditioning cycle, and reconditions the joints, the muscles, and the nervous system.
So from where I come from, pain, inflammation, swelling, redness, and stiffness is a scar tissue or a calcification block. Okay, you can't have the swelling, you can't have the pain, can't have the stiffness, and the stretch mobility is dehydration from inflammation, because inflammation is a fire, and the more inflammation you have, the more dehydration you're going to have, the more the tendons, the ligaments shrink, but also the fibers come closer together. That's why people say, I have a knot, or I'm not able to stretch out or play the sport anymore. That's why I watch it, because I feel like I'm going to tear out. And the reason why they want going to tear out is dehydration, creating scar tissue formation. And from the inflammation, you've got the calcification to make sure you don't go to mutation.
So those are all correct. There are two missing components, though. The joints, when you become in a deconditioned state, when we get to the cellular level and protein synthesis occurs or protein synthesis stops occurring and skeletal muscle mass is lost at that level in the cell, there is a change in the joint, and that joint becomes restricted. So all of those things are true, but you can go in and you can actually unrestrict a joint and get it to move again using the right technique. And then you have to rebuild the muscles around it. So all of those factors are components, but the joint mobility is also a component. It communicates to the muscle that becomes atrophied over time because of the lack of mobility, and that affects the nervous system and then goes back to the cell, actually.
Yeah, because what happens inside the cell is you get mitochondrial damage. When you get
Correct.
mitochondrial damage, that is actually caused because of cellular calcification around the mitochondria that don't allow it to spin to create the energy for the metabolic response for the cell.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Beautiful. So tell us how it happens. But before we do that and explaining about your stretch mobility work, therapy, so what part did you play, in the Cure as an Inside Job? And what did you try to relay to people so that they can have a good idea when they go to actually watch what you had to say?
Yeah, so my role was primarily for the neuromuscular system, the role of health and wellness with the neuromuscular system, how we move and how that shapes whether we are unhealthy or healthy.
I think, what I'd like to ask now is how you different from a physical therapist. So tell me, what usually would I get from a physical therapist, and what would I get from a stretch mobility coach?
So let me preface physical therapy first. So physical therapy is a reactive care system in the U.S. designed by whoever it was designed by, but the rules are based on what the insurance company is going to pay for you. So a typical physical therapy treatment session is going to give you decreased pain, but not resolve pain. It's going to build strength, but not recondition a muscle. So there's your two core differences is ours are long-term. We're looking at the health and wellness of your joints, how they move without compensation, and the health of your muscles, where physical therapy, they're just working on putting a Band-Aid on the fact that you have pain,
Okay.
get you out of pain as quickly as possible. But that does not resolve the problem. And that problem unresolved goes down a path that leads you on a direct path to surgery.
So what happened is you said, I'm not going to have governmental telling me what to do and restricting me from becoming the best that I can be and helping my patients. I mean, really what it
Correct.
comes down to, because you're very limited there and you've got to stay inside their box, right?
Correct. And as a PTA, we do treatments, we're assistants. So we want to, what the insurance says is one thing, and a PTA has a big heart and we want to get the client to the best. And there's your conflict right there. We know as a PTA, we want to do more than physical therapy, but we only know physical therapy.
Yeah, well, maybe you know it, but also you're not allowed to show anything else either. That's the reality. You get yourself into trouble.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, the reality is this, thank God that you decided to decide that there was no governing body over top of you, because that's usually what happens. And please, I'm not trying to poo-poo on physical therapists, because guess what? They mean the best. But the reality is if the strategy doesn't work, it doesn't work. And that's the reality. People, okay, let's just put it this way. There's no need to not have everything come back that you've lost. Okay, the whole aging thing is crap. Okay, I'm 67 years old, and guess what? Look at Lori and I, we will play pickleball against our kids, and we will win. Okay, we swim for an hour, maybe an hour and a half a day. We work because we love our work. I mean, we have more energy. So understand, what Kim is doing is she's breaking the mold, and she's showing you that you can get so much out of your body, and they sold you an incorrect story that aging is, what is it everybody says, Kim? It sucks.
I don't know, but I tell people aging is inevitable, but that doesn't mean you have to be in pain.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm 67 years old, and you know what? I'm 67, but I look better than most 47-year-olds. And you know what? Most of the people can't keep up with me and my staff. Aging is inevitable. I don't know about, even that I don't even want to do anymore. I don't want to talk about the aging thing. I want to talk about the living, thriving thing. And you can have that every day of your life. So Kim, let's talk about how you give that back. Give me
Absolutely.
an instance.
So we look at the body differently. We test the body differently, and we're looking at healthy baseline. So what does healthy muscle do? And if it's not doing that, let's recondition the muscle to get to where it can do that. We do know a muscle is supposed to contract. It's supposed to concentrically contract. It's supposed to eccentrically contract. So in our standards, if those things do not happen, it is categorized as unhealthy. A muscle also is not supposed to have a rigid, hard tone that's uncontrolled. It's not supposed to be striated and tight. You're not supposed to lose flexibility just because you're getting older. Those are all signals that your muscles are unhealthy, and also signals that you're possibly in what we call a deconditioning cycle, which is not touched in the healthcare system at all. We just put a Band-Aid on the pain and say, oh, do you feel better? But we don't fix the reason that the pain started, nor do we go in and restore everything and recondition everything to a more healthy state. And you can, the body can be returned to a more healthy state as long as it fits into certain criteria. You want to make sure the myelin sheath is not deteriorated. Those are things that you can't rebuild. And you certainly can't rebuild skeletal muscle when the adipose tissue has taken over the skeletal muscle. There are two ways that you can't build it. Otherwise, game on.
Very good. Very good. So how do we get in touch with you, and what's your practice called?
Yeah, so the Stretch Mobility Coach is the name of my practice, and you can get in touch with me by going to my website, www.thestretchmobilitycoach.com. You can also, you can send me an email, info at thestretchmobilitycoach.com. Both of those will work just fine to get in touch with me. I also have a YouTube channel that talks a little bit more about stretch mobility coaching and how it's different and how we look at the body differently.
Beautiful. So what type of clientele do you find come to you so that people
that
can
want more.
understand that?
People that want more. People that don't want to live with a limitation. So, for example, in physical therapy, we were told to put a brace on people so that they avoid pain. Right. Well, again, pain is a warning sign. So let's not avoid pain. The brace isn't helping you. So we improve the joint mobility and then we recondition the muscles to a more healthy state. So people who have braces that play pickleball, for example, knee braces, you see it all the time, Dr. Wolf. You see knee braces, you see wrist braces, you see pain during play, you see pain after play. Pain should not occur at any of those states whatsoever. If pain is happening during those, then there is a problem that needs to be resolved. So people who are looking for more, they want to live a life without limitations. Those are our clients. And people who don't want to have to stretch every day. You shouldn't have to stretch every day just to be able to move or function.
Okay, that sounds great. So can you tell the name of your company again? And
yes,
where and tell where you are on Facebook or what your website is called.
Yeah,
and even your phone number if you'd like.
Sure. The Stretch Mobility Coach is the name of the company. We have, I am training providers nationwide. So ultimately, we should have 16 locations open within the next couple of months. I have my location in Beckett Ridge, Ohio. My website is thestretchmobilitycoach.com. The Stretch Mobility Coach on YouTube and then Facebook. I am the Stretch Mobility Coach there and on Instagram. And then our number is 513-874-8800.
Beautiful. Now, before we end, would you like to tell people how did you feel doing The Cure as an inside job? What did you think of Manny Baines, the director?
Manny is awesome. You know, what he has put out to pull us together, to look everywhere for all of the practitioners that meet one component of health is simply amazing because none of us are all from the U.S. or live in the U.S., which I think is pretty cool. And you know, I gravitated towards this. I think I saw it in a holistic group that I'm a member of, and Manny reached out to me, and I think he was pretty full before he talked to me, and he said, "You know what? This is a missing component. I feel like we could use to pull all of this together." So I feel like he's simply amazing to be able to pull this together, just to be able to bring all of us together to help people better understand how the body heals holistically and that it's not what is out there in our current marketing and current healthcare system.
That's right. We got to get off the beaten path if we don't want to get beat. That's the reality of it right there. All right. So one more time, let everybody know how they can get in touch with you because, you know, give people a chance to make sure that they can experience your work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thestretchmobilitycoach.com is my website and where you can find me on YouTube. Facebook is thestretchmobilitycoach.com. So is Instagram. My phone number is 513-874-8800. And if you're an email person, you can reach out to us at info@thestretchmobilitycoach.com.
And leave everybody with one thing. Why should they watch The Cure is an Inside Job documentary when it comes out? And the date that the documentary is actually coming out, let me see, where was that? November, I think it was November the 17th. I hope I'm correct. Okay. And what do you think?
Well, I just think that building awareness. That's the key, right? So this is awakening that awareness between someone and what they think right now about their current health and how they can improve their health. Basically, what they think health and wellness is by what they've been told. This movie is going to be able to reveal what health and wellness truly is and the missing components that no one is looking into. So again, I think the one key thing is building awareness to be able to truly see what you can do, because our bodies can heal naturally if we give them the right thing.
Thank you, Kim. Thanks
Thank
for
you for
joining
having
us.
me on.
And everybody, you're going to get to see Kim on The Cure is an Inside Job. I'm pretty sure it's coming out on November 17th. My staff doesn't have that up here right now. But just know this, that you can go to thecuredocumentaryfilm.com and you can see Kim Notker live, and myself and a bunch of other practitioners that are no longer on the beaten path. Okay? Thank you, Kim, and thank you for joining us, and have a beautiful day.
Hey, you too. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. So understand, everybody, there are so many pathways to the top of the mountain. So we want to interview as many people that have done The Cure as an Inside Job, because I'm only one piece of the puzzle. There's so many different pieces of the puzzle to get there. You know what? Get excited about your body, get excited about your life, and know that you matter, okay? All right? You're not just a piece of meat. You are a high vibrational electromagnetic spirit being, okay? And understand this, your vibration, your frequency is everything, okay? And remember something, okay? You are the practitioner you've been looking for. You are the doctor you've been looking for. You are the hero you've been looking for. So make sure that you check out people that you know that are going to bring awareness and help you to empower your life, okay? Because take a look at where the majority go. Is that where you want to go? Take a look at your mother. Take a look at your father. Take a look at people your age and people that are 10 years older, and then take a look at the statistics. You know what a stat is? The majority of the population become a stat, okay? So become the minority, break away from the herd, and make sure you join us on bhnapp.com, where we are going to have so many professionals like Judy Mikovits, okay, like Del Bigtree, like Andrew Wakefield. We're going to have people that I could never, ever have on my platform, on Facebook, on YouTube. Okay, God knows I'm probably going to get struck for something we said here, because if it doesn't fit the agenda, it's not going to fit. So we've taken 2 years to build the bhnapp.com. It is the most powerful and the biggest health app in the world. It's 98% free. That's right, you got it. We have the largest health and healing library masterclass on the planet, okay? All right, and you can download the Perfect Day Guide, which is a 550-page manual, and this is 40 years of my work making you into your own healer, your own practitioner. And understand something, everybody. This book and this book here, okay, were just read by a nurse at McGill University, where they said that, guess what? I need to be stopped. Did you get that? I need to be stopped. You can download them for free, and then tell me if they're not logical. Tell me if they haven't empowered you, and tell me, guess what? Some natural health practitioner, they're that scared? Let me tell you something, they're not scared. Big Pharma's scared. Big Pharma's scared of Kim and everybody else that has been on this documentary, The Cure is an Inside Job, because once you give the power back to the people, they no longer have to be governed. They no longer will put up with, we'll keep an eye on it for you. They will no longer put up with going and becoming an emergency and going in. They will finally understand that a symptom is just a love message from the body telling that you're out of alignment. Thanks for joining me. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolfe. God bless. 3, 2, 1. We've got this, Bravehearts.